If you're a Kanye West fan, you're not a fan of me, you're a fan of yourself. You will believe in yourself. I'm just the espresso. I'm just a shot in the morning to get you going, to make you believe that you can overcome that situation that you're dealing with all the time.
I believe that everybody should have the opportunity to share their views, however noble or odious.
There is nothing bigger or older than the universe. The questions I would like to talk about are: 1. Where did we come from? How did the universe come into being? Are we alone in the universe? Is there alien life out there?
God, who created this universe, if it was created by God, is quite clearly a maniac. Utter maniac. Totally selfish.
The people who are stuck in an image, the people who are stuck and afraid to be honest and dream a big dream. Dream big and dare to fail. I dare you to do that, because this is living proof that it is possible to make a dream come true.
And that's it. It's going.
It's going. Well, I should carry on. Now, what is the theme?
Okay.
What is that theme for? Is that Ski Sunday, a program I've never seen?
Is that a program?
No, was it just what's Match of the Day?
Oh, Matt. I still hold that is the best theme song, or one of the best ever. I don't even like football.
It's a bit like Too Cheery. Like, it's sort of, you know how football as a whole doesn't really have that super cheery vibe because it's quite associated with fighting and aggressive carling drinkers,
corruption.
Yeah. That too. That's on the high end. You got the low end as well, which is the lager and fighting. To then pair it with
every week. Sure.
Exactly. But
I think football fans like to think that deep down it's all about the sport and being happy, But
yeah,
I'm not sure.
I was like, you ever seen Green Street with Elijah Wood?
No, have you?
I have. Well, I think I've seen half of it. It usually comes on ITV2 occasionally, and just shows the inner life of a football hooligan, which is
right.
Or a guy who comes from America to become a football hooligan, essentially. And it's just not a life for me, quite frankly. Risk of death, not really into. Bringing children into a dangerous environment. And I think not enjoying the football. Because, if someone's just, popped a credit card in your mouth and given you the old Chelsea smile, I'm not going to enjoy the game.
I mean, I agree with you, Jack. I don't think there's many points to disagree with there.
No.
I think it probably relates to the tribal element of our inner selves, the whole, well, I don't know you, but you're wearing a different flag and I'm going to hate you for it. It's so weird, dude. It's so primal.
It's true, actually. Yeah. I mean, it's
so weird.
Going back to the core of human being.
Yeah,
which
literally,
is an interesting circumstance for it, considering it's literally just like going to watch some guys kick a ball around.
Mate, the thing that gets me...
So I'm feeling bloody angry now.
The thing that gets me is that it's a weekly event where men will travel for 3 to 7 hours every week, get drunk, waste all their money on drink, spend money on drink, and then come back and do it all over again. I mean... what a waste of time, man!
Because that's every week, man. I just think even let's put the hooliganism aside. Watching the football every week is quite a big commitment. It's just
huge.
I mean, football's fine. I like the World Cup. I'm sure you like the World Cup. You're a man who definitely strikes me as someone who likes the World Cup.
I like the World Cup.
I mean, you do just get to go to the pub all the time.
Literally.
It's like the World Cup. There's something to root for there, but if you're just watching whatever game is on like every week, I don't understand what the satisfaction is in that. Because it's just like, why don't you just? There's loads of good things on Netflix. Well, just watch some of that instead. It's just that there's no new storyline in the football. Well, I guess there kind of is, but
I'm convinced that football fans enjoy the politics more than sport. Like, how often do you speak to a football fan? You know, ask, "Oh, what games were good at the weekend?" Oh, so right, okay. So you spent
which of many games were good at the weekend? Yeah,
and you're literally talking about. I don't even want to go into the stats, but you're talking about like what 20 teams just in one league in one country.
Yeah.
Not including all the other tournaments. It's an impossible sport to get into. Impossible. And like, how are you supposed to remember anyone's name? How are you supposed to remember any team? How are you supposed to remember any tournament placement? And this happens on a 10th month or 9-10 month basis every year. And then every 2 years, you got a major tournament.
It is too much. It's like, it's made me think about like when people talk about like Dragon Ball and Naruto and stuff. It's like, how can anyone get into them? Well, I think One Piece is like the worst for it. It's like, obviously, I'm not going to watch that. Like, I'm not against anime in any way, but like, if it's a good show, it's a good show. Don't care if it's anime, but like, there's so many episodes of like, Dragon Ball and stuff. How are you ever meant to get into that? I was talking to my friend the other day about like, what is the actual plot of that? And he just can't give me a good answer because there's just too many episodes. I was like, I just can't get into it now. You have to have just been a fan for a long time, I feel.
100%. So, I was speaking to
I think in many ways, football is like Dragon Ball, I suppose I'm saying, Nick. Both got balls in them.
Oh, that's true. A lot of balls.
Football, but Dragon Ball.
That's another thing I never got about football is the whole, you know, like, oh, we're the manliest of men. We get our eyebrows done and we look at each other naked every week. I'm like, I just don't quite get the masculine thing here, guys. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, no footballers come out as gay while they're playing. Like, it just all seems a bit far-fetched considering they all slap each other's bums all the time.
Never thought about that. Like, I don't know any gay footballers. Bear in mind, I don't really know any footballers, but like, you think gay footballer would be in the news or something sometimes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, I guess like the people who like football, or like not some of the people who like football, wouldn't really like it very much if they found out one of their team was gay, would they?
Yeah, I mean, you're
some
talking about
some of the hard lads.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably more of an economy issue, not an economy, like a financial thing, where they're like, well, we're going to lose 10 million if you come out as gay, so you're not going to come out as gay. So interesting politics.
Like,
not
we'll
sure
we'll pay you to not come out. I suppose they could even do.
He's 100 grand a week. Stay in the closet. Stay in the closet.
Way back in.
Way back.
Get
Narnia.
back.
Narnia.
Yeah,
Narnia.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Narnia. Back on the anime thing. My mate watches Jay, my co-host for TGO show. He watches anime, and I'm like,
sounds
so
like an absolute loser.
Oh, mate, honestly. I'm like, how many episodes are in Naruto or whatever it's called? He's like, yeah, about like 1,000. And I was like,
you don't even,
I don't think so.
You don't even just have Naruto. You have Boruto, son of Naruto, which I also know absolutely nothing about. But it's like there's so much surrounding it. It's like I just don't know how anyone could be into it, quite frankly.
I also think, Jack, there's no way that something that long can keep up a sustainable, coherent amount of quality. Like, look at Star Wars films. They couldn't even keep up 4 films of quality. Yeah. Like, and we're talking about 1,000 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I still just think that no Star Wars are any good other than the first 3. Like, I don't like the prequels and I don't like the new ones. I think they're all boring. Like, but the first ones are actually good films.
Yeah. But you watched them like you watched them what, 2013, something like that?
I can't remember exactly when it was. I think I was.
It was like semi-recently.
16 or 17, so it was like probably about 2014. Yeah.
Yeah, like you weren't a kid when you watched them, which is interesting.
Yeah, like I watched the original 3 first, and it's just like they're just good films. There's not really much more to say about it. They just look really good for the time. The story's good, action's good. Like, even obviously the lightsaber duels are really simple, like fairly simple anyway. And then the prequel ones is just like, oh, let's finish off the film with 15 minutes of just spinning, just fucking spinning over and over again. Am I allowed to swear on this, by the way? Is that fine?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
spinning, man.
Yeah.
Just clash lightsabers over and over again with all the fire going in the background. And it's just like,
Yeah.
God, this should be so exciting, but it's so boring.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, people like the choreography. I'm not down for it.
I mean, like, I'm so biased. Like, I grew up with them.
You just want to be say you want to say you're wrong, man. You're wrong, man. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it.
No, I mean, here's the thing, right, Jack. I have the same problem with The Last of Us Part 2, where I understand everyone's complaints. I just fundamentally disagree with them. Like, I get where you're coming from. I just disagree with you.
I don't actually know anything about it. I just know everyone hates it because I've never played Last of Us.
Right.
Or Last of Us 2.
Okay. It looks like we moved on to games far quicker than I anticipated, by the way.
We're here. It's fine. Let's roll with it. Tell me about The Last of Us.
Oh dear. So how come you've never played the first one?
Just never have. I know it's sort of pretty story heavy, and I'm just not really that into story in games, really. That's why I like Dark Souls and stuff. It's just there's just not any, and that's cool. I like to just get involved, get stuck in with the gameplay. If I want story, I'll read a book. I like a background lore, but not one that I have to involve myself with, which I quite like.
At all.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm happy to just enjoy the game, enjoy what it's showing me, but like story, I'm not bothered. So stuff like Heavy Rain and stuff like that, it's like, I don't want to play this.
Okay.
It's just all story.
So you must be a huge fan of Nintendo then.
I do. I very much used to like Nintendo, but I don't really play the Switch at the moment. It's just because obviously Harry, flatmate's got the Switch, but just haven't really picked up too much. I appreciate the games, I suppose. But no, like Monster Hunter, that's been a great one. It's really good, Monster Hunter World. It's like just
Is that on the Switch?
It's on I think the new one's coming out on the Switch, but Monster Hunter World's on the PS4 and the Xbox, I think. But God, I sunk so many hours into that, and you just don't have to care about what's happening at all. You just kill big monsters, and that's pretty much it. And use the monsters to make more weapons to kill bigger monsters.
Sure,
it's great. That's what I'm into. Gameplay loop. Sure.
Oh, okay, so we spoke about Borderlands 3. I don't want to bring that up. I don't want to bring that up.
I don't want you to bring it up. It's fucking boring, man. It's so boring.
You just said gameplay loop. Borderlands 3 has like one of the best gameplay loops ever.
I hated it. Played it for 10 hours straight and then never played it again. Never touched it again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
So boring.
I mean, it's not that boring.
I can't even remember it that well. It's just me. I swear I just had like my mind switched off for the whole thing. I was just like, this just ain't grabbing me at all. Nothing that's happening is grabbing me in the slightest.
What is it about Monster Hunter World that grabs you that Borderlands 3 doesn't?
I know, it's more like Dark Souls. You're swinging a sword around, you're killing just huge monsters. There's spectacle. I'm not seeing the spectacle in Borderlands, quite frankly.
Okay.
So yeah, you're just killing dinosaurs. Like, simple as that. There's just unbelievably complex weapon crafting systems. I'll take it. I don't understand it, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, I used to love Borderlands when I was younger. I played it a lot, and Borderlands 1 was quite simple. And I remember not liking Borderlands 2 as much as the first one, just because it sort of expands a lot. I just kind of quite liked the simplicity. But then Borderlands 3, just like, I just really don't like it. It's hard to put a finger on it. I just don't know whether now that I've changed my tastes, I just don't like it. But don't like the locations, don't like the guns, don't really like the characters, the story's stupid.
Okay.
It's just like there's a lot of cringy dialogue in that game.
That's true.
It's just like,
That's true.
God, you're not funny at all. Please stop talking.
So You're one of the mates I've got, Jack, which I would describe as an actual gamer in the sense that
Pro
lots
gamer
of my,
to you.
lots of my mates play games, and I don't even mean like I've got some mates who are beyond the casual gamer, right?
Mhm.
But they're still just not quite there, you know, like Final Fantasy 16, like, you know what I mean? Whereas like I know that
Was it like
if
play
I
lots
speak
of
to you,
games, but it's primarily like COD or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they'll dip into Red Dead, they'll dip into Assassin's Creed, but
Mhm.
like for the most part, whereas like I know that I can have a very deep conversation with you about games because you love games. What
Pride
is it?
myself.
What is it about video games, Jack? I know the answer is it's a silly question, really, but what is it about games for you which you enjoy? Is it the what? What is it?
What? It's hard to say, really. It's like the games I like most are like, say, Dark Souls is just great. Like I know that's definitely a dead horse by now that I continue to beat, but like it's just everything's great. It's just really refined gameplay. Like Sekiro is so fucking good. It's just like unbelievably good gameplay, so solid. Like, and it's just satisfaction incarnate. And it's that's the main reason. It's like just satisfaction when you've just done something really satisfying, and that's what games give you. Like Sekiro, every enemy you fight is satisfying in that. Monster Hunter, when you take down a massive dinosaur, is satisfying. Dark Souls beating a boss or like finding new weapons, it's just satisfying. Other than that, like, I've been playing quite a lot of Warzone lately, to be honest, just with a couple friends, and it's just good. It is just good. Like it's got its
Fair-
flaws and everything, but
Yeah.
to be honest, half of what I like is just the social aspect. Just nice to chat to your mates while you're playing something.
Yeah, I think that rings true for a lot of people because, like, you and Blore playing Warzone, I was like, huh? But then I guess it, you know, like you say, everyone's playing it. It's kind of you get those games, don't you, which you want to play with other people. Like for me, Rocket League, I'll play any time, any day with anyone. Like just phenomenal.
And
game.
again, that's a very popular game as well. Like there's no shame in liking the big budget sort of like game that's super big at the minute.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What do you think about the battle royale genre then? Do you like it? Do you find it boring?
I haven't really ever dipped into it. Like, to be honest, like I've never played Fortnite, never played PUBG or anything like that. Apex Legends, I think I watched a friend play that one time, but don't know anything about it. It just never appealed. But yeah, like Warzone it's just good. It is good. Like tactically, I'd say it's one of like the best games because it's not like built into the game mechanics that you have to be tactical in the way you take down enemies, like in, say, Splinter Cell or something. Like, you actually have to work together with your friend and come up with a tactic on how you're going to push on a building to get the people who are inside it. Like, you have to have very active communication to tell your friend where to go, what you're doing, to get to other players who are actual real players. And so I don't think that exists a great deal. Like, in many games, like there's actual tactics. Like it's quite nice. It's not a tactics game, but you have to use real life tactics. It's cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and it is fun. It is fun.
It is fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the Dark Souls front, what do you think? Norwich coming out. What do you think about every game being Souls-like and getting lots of these clones and stuff like that? Is it just all good stuff for you? Are you just looking at everyone that comes out? Code Vein, Neo, you just looking at them coming out?
Well, yeah, I don't really get that into any of them particularly. I think it's like because the Dark Souls formula is so like it's perfected basically in Dark Souls, especially like Dark Souls 3 is fantastic and Dark Souls 1 is good. It is sluggish, I'll give it that, but it's very good. But like Neo, I've got that, and they've sort of like it's fine, I guess. It's just like it's relentlessly difficult, and I just wasn't enjoying myself playing it. I was just like, I'm just getting killed in like 1 or 2 hits constantly. It's just annoying. It's not even fun.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just,
that's
it's
what
just
I
stupid.
feel when I
You're
play
dying
Dark Souls.
So yeah, Dark Souls is fair. It feels fair. Neo just didn't feel fair a lot of the time. And I know,
Okay.
like, yeah, if you practice a lot, it will be fine. And yeah, I did overcome the challenges, but it's just like if I'm just getting killed in one hit by everything, it's like it's not really a challenge you're overcoming. It's just like, sorry, you have to dodge this. But yeah, I think not many games really seem to get the kind of balance quite right, other than the people who originated it, basically.
Sure. So there's a limit for you as well when it comes to difficulty and things like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
difficult is good because that's where the satisfaction comes from, overcoming a great challenge, which is what is what like Miyazaki wants from a game. Anyway, he wants it to be really rewarding for you to get over a challenge, and it is rewarding. He's right.
Yeah.
He does well.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I disagree with that philosophy in the sense that I think 90% of games get the difficulty balance wrong, where you're like, you're on easy. I think we talked about Skyrim a lot, but like you're on easy and you're like, just a little bit too easy. You go on medium and it's just fucking impossible. You're like, what is going on, guys? But
yeah,
for
when it's
me,
just like there's a high level thing and it will just destroy you. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't fight that then. Or
Yeah,
like, I
literally.
honestly don't understand how anyone can play Skyrim on like master difficulty. I don't get how you would possibly do it. Because it's
I
like
don't
it's
know
not
either.
a fair difficulty. It's just like a bear will maul you to death in 2 hits. So
Exactly.
what can you do, honestly?
Exactly. And it's not
There's
like
no tactics in Skyrim.
Oh, yeah, and it's not really that like I find Skyrim at its most fun where you feel like you're killing difficult enemies, but really everything's just quite easy, if that makes
You're
sense.
just slapping them, aren't you? Like the same move
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
I mean,
nice
it's
about
not.
Skyrim is just the world. It's just nice to walk around, isn't it?
That's true. That is true. But with the Dark Souls games, for me, mate, see, I would say Sekiro is the first time I've gone. And yeah, see, I like the look of that because it's faster, it's fairer in terms of like, you know, respawning you near bosses and stuff like that. And I never, ever, 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 ever liked. Like, I get the whole. You need to learn the moves and then defeat them, blah, blah, blah. For me, that's a little bit repetitive, but I guess every game does that to a very minor degree.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, it's like I'll turn up to a boss and then, like, I'll die 50 times. And then, like you said, I'll be like, well, I'm not having fun. I'm not enjoying it. And also, being truthfully honest, I'll get over the challenge and be like, I don't feel like I've got my time back there. Like, I think I've just lost 10 hours and I don't even feel that rewarded for it. Like, I'm a baby. I need to be spoon-fed collectible, like, collectible acquired, like, every 2 seconds. Like, I'm an absolute binger. You know what I mean? Like, Destiny 2,
just
like, every time...
drip-fed minute
Exactly.
bits of satisfaction. Just like, yeah, I did something good. Well done, me.
Exactly. Like Lego games. So, I've got all 10 mini kits. Oh, yeah. You know? But in terms of the, like, being in the cycle and stuff, are you more open to maybe playing games like The Division 2 and Destiny 2 then because that has a sort of cycle, or...
Maybe, yes. The main problem with that, not The Division so much, just Destiny, is I just don't really like futuristic settings very much.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's as simple as that. Just not really a big fan. But Division, I don't really know anything about.
Okay, all right, fine.
I'm sorry to say.
No, it's all right.
I'm
and
not
it's
keeping
worth
up with my news properly, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
Okay, Jack. That's okay. Do you want to talk about... Shall we talk about the news, perhaps? I'm sure there's some things maybe you want to discuss.
Yeah. You're going to have to be my sort of refresher because I can't fully remember everything which happened.
Okay,
but,
what do you want me to refresh you with? What, the PS5 showcase?
Let's do PS5 showcase.
Okay.
We can work through the games. We can work through everything.
Did you hear about the news, Jack? About Bethesda?
What news?
Oh, Jack. Oh, I'm so glad I get to see your reaction to this. Okay.
What is so, they're bringing out Fallout 5. That's all I can say. Fallout 5 is coming out. Yep.
It's bigger than that.
Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out.
No, it's not. It's not that kind of news.
They're both coming out tomorrow.
It's not that kind of news. Okay. Now just prepare yourself here. Xbox have bought ZeniMax Media.
Well, ZeniMax made Elder Scrolls Online.
So ZeniMax is the parent company. So every single Bethesda game, including
Is
Fallout,
ZeniMax.
Skyrim, so Wolfenstein, Prey, Dishonored, Deathloop, Ghost Runner, Ghostwire Toge, whatever the hell it's called. All of those games are now owned by Xbox. Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Fallout, Starfield, all of those franchises, Xbox owns it all.
So you told me not to have a strong reaction, so I'm not going to do that.
No, you can have a strong reaction.
I'm not going to slap the computer. I'm not going to punch a hole in the monitor, Nick. But
No. I was just be prepared. That's all. But what's your initial reaction,
just like,
Jack, to that?
If they were to keep it as an exclusive, that'd be so dumb. That'd be so dumb.
Would it though? Would the only reason it be dumb though is because you have to buy?
Because I want it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, but Xbox is worse. That'll make it not worse, admittedly. Like, that would make it better if it had those games on it. But it's just, I don't know, what one's Elden Ring coming out on? That's literally the only thing I want. It's the only reason I watch any game shows.
Yeah, no, I think they're From Software still doing their thing. When's that? Have we got? I mean, is that coming out? That's got to be coming out next year, right, Jack?
Who knows, Nick? Who knows? They won't
enough.
tell you anything. You should check out the subreddit. It's the Elden Ring subreddit. It's just a massive joke.
Do you think it's been cancelled?
No, I don't think it's been cancelled. I just think From Software are just not telling anyone because who cares? They'll buy it when it comes out.
Fair enough.
We're just doing our thing on this game.
I like the fact they're only working on one announced game. I think that makes them concentrated.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, maybe that's the way they work. They just announce projects. Like, maybe they finished Sekiro and then started working on Elden. I don't know. Anyway, I like the fact it won Game of the Year at the Game of the Year Awards last year. Yeah, because I was like...
I'm surprised it did.
I predicted it because I thought... Well, From Software are owed a Game of the Year, and this feels like the year, you know?
It's just... I'll stand by it forever. It's just so good. It's like a rhythm game. You just have to... It's like Guitar Hero. You can see all of the buttons coming down at that you have to press. But in Sekiro, those buttons aren't quite as obvious. So you just have to do them at the right time. Just read the signals. It's brilliant. It's satisfying, all the sound design and just like the swords clashing off each other. It's brilliant.
Fair.
I love it.
So PS5 showcase, mate. Shall we go through?
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right. Don't feel like we need. That's okay. Don't worry. We don't need to go into in the deepest of detail. I'm just more interested in getting your thoughts, really, Jack. Because
what I'm gonna do in probably about sort of 2 minutes is just interrupt you and talk about like Sekiro, if that's all right.
Do you want to talk about Sekiro now? Would you like to?
No.
Okay,
I've got
I want to interrupt you.
I've got nothing more to add. Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
So really good,
PS5 showcase. I want to get your vibes, Jack, on next gen in general. What are your thoughts? Too pricey? Are you ready for a next gen? Do you want one? Blah 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 blah.
The problem is, like, I know the problems with the games industry in general, and it's how it's like AAA games are so expensive to make. Like, I understand why they're charging so much for PS5 games because they cost so much to make, and that's why all games have like ridiculous amounts of season pass and DLC stuff now, because they just have to make their money back somehow. But like, obviously that makes me not particularly want next gen so much. But I think if I was to choose just based on what I feel that I want, it would be like the PS5, the one with the disc drive, because digital only might be £100 cheaper, but just think about in future when you'll save all that money on buying pre-owned games.
True.
Because
but games also go on sale digitally a lot of the time.
They do. It's true. Yeah, but you're always going to be at the at Sony's whim. Then
it's true.
I'd prefer to be at CEX's whim.
It's funny how they've secured such a market in that, like the pre-owned space. Like, you had That's Entertainment and stuff, and like, I'm not sure how CEX actually makes money. Like, I know how they make money, but like, you look at how are they? Who's buying these games? Like, they've got like 4 PS4s in the window. Is anyone buying these? Yeah,
it's true actually. Like, yeah, why is CEX actually doing all right and all the others like failed?
No idea, mate.
It's really weird.
It is weird.
I think
Maybe
somehow they
CX
just
is failing.
maybe I don't know actually. I mean, like Into centers are going bankrupt,
Right.
and that's ridiculous.
That is
Because
that is ridiculous.
how could they possibly be losing money?
Mate, honestly.
I don't know.
Honestly.
Business, eh? Not a fan. Not a fan. You should know. You've got your GCSE.
I've got my GCSE. Mate, I love business studies. I find it so interesting. Anyway, let's try and stay on topic here, boys.
Of course.
So, good to... I mean, look, being blunt to you, Jack, there is no doubt it's the PS5 all the way. I mean, look at the games.
Exactly.
Look at the games.
Yeah, I did watch the Xbox One just because, like, I feel like I should just keep up with things.
Yeah.
But, like, nothing... I don't remember anything grabbing me. There's a few things that look nice on PS5, most notably Demon Souls, for obvious reasons. Already played it on PS3, but it does look bloody nice.
I mean, we will come to Demon Souls, don't worry. But
We will.
the Xbox thing, I think
You're
I
going to
do
have to
believe.
remind me what's even on it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that's just it, mate. I mean, they delayed Halo. And the only reason I'm getting one, probably, well, I don't know if you know, Jack, but pre-orders for Xbox came out today as of recording, and basically it looks like pre-orders for both consoles have just completely been because I can't get an Xbox, I can't get a PS5, and we're about to enter what will be probably 4 quarters of economic decline, and yet everyone can afford a £500 console.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, like
whatever.
how many did they have to actually for you to pre-order? Like, how many
Good
were they
question.
selling at this point? Because
Good
they must be
question.
selling quite a lot.
I would have thought so. I'm hoping they release them in waves and they're just trying to see how many they need to manufacture, but I'm a bit worried.
They could always
Jack.
release like another round of pre-orders, but yeah, like, how is everyone buying one of these? I don't know anyone who's getting one.
Well, that's just
anything
it.
next gen.
That's just it. And I mean,
Apart from you.
this was the first time in my life that I was going to buy a next gen console on day one because I can and I wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I get on the game website and it's down for 6 hours, and then I refresh it and it's all gone. And I'm like, okay.
All right, it just must be so busy. It's like trying to buy like Glastonbury tickets, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Except just like, is that just in the UK? Because that does seem weird.
Yeah, that's
where,
just
like,
as in game UK. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people must just be buying it for like the new FIFA or whatever. The lads.
The lads, or selling it on, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because people are awful.
True. Yeah,
Oh.
just buy like 5 of them and just sell them on for more day one. Like, hey,
Literally.
I've got some, man. Just give me an extra £100.
The thing is that ain't gonna last. As soon as stocks meet demand, like you're out, you know.
Yeah.
But no, interesting to see. I think, yeah, I agree. PS5 is probably the way forward, mate. Do you honestly think the PS5 looks good though?
It's like, I don't think it looks as good as it is expensive, but it's like, I like what I see on it for the most part. It's like, I'm not stunned by much at the minute, but I'm not generally like, I don't play that many games, so it's not like I'm just going to pick up all of the new releases or anything.
Sure.
I like the look of Demon Souls. There was that nice little cat game which is coming out with all of the robots and you play as a cat going around a city. I thought that was quite
that
nice.
looked cool. Yeah, that looked cool.
I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a few others. More of the, like, a couple of indie titles which looked alright.
Yeah.
But then
a lot
obviously
of those
when
indie titles are getting a big showing at these things.
Yeah. You have to remind me of a couple of the others which have been on there.
Yeah, I mean, Deathloop, we've seen a bit of that. To the recent one, we didn't see
I don't love the look of that. Everyone seems to love it. Like, I just think
Jack,
I don't particularly want it.
Me and Jay literally just looked at it and went like, why? What is it offering? You know?
Yeah, it's just like, I think it's just because it had like, you know, like Borderlands sells because it's like the funny game. It's like that had just a charismatic man speaking at the beginning, and it's like, well, that looks brilliant. It's like, you just shoot people.
Mate, Americans are so easily impressed, you know. But I love how different of taste UK and Americans have in like, particularly in games. Like I've listened to American podcasts and they've gone like, "Oh, doesn't Deathloop look awesome?" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, like
I don't know if we saw the same
what does
game.
it look like?
Mate,
It's
honestly.
just like, let's just shoot people in an order, learn the patterns. It's like Splinter Cell, first person.
But not with Sam Fisher. And
Yeah,
but
well,
the
no, not even
trend-
that. It's Dishonored. It's just Dishonored.
Oh, mate. Here's a thought for you, Jack. Every Bethesda published game, so like Wolfenstein, or every game in that portfolio, is a first-person shooter.
In Bethesda's,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah. Prey, Rage 2, Wolfenstein, Doom, Dishonored. I know they're not shooters, but first-person action game.
First person at
Deathloop,
least, yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo, and Fallout and Elder Scrolls is switched between first-person.
Yeah.
Isn't that so boring? That is so boring.
Never even thought of that.
I literally keep bringing it up because nobody else is talking about it, and I'm like, guys,
like just ask them to do something else. I mean, to be honest, it's like Bethesda aren't exactly the best, are they? It's just like they make games which are annoyingly good for how bad they are.
I like Doom.
Yeah, Doom in fairness has had really good reception. But yeah, like your Skyrims and stuff, like they're so popular, but they're not that good.
Oh,
Skyrim is not that good, but I love it. I'll keep playing it, but it's just not that good.
Yeah. No, I feel you make a good point. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, I would say Oblivion's better than Skyrim, but I'm biased, and I think you make a point. Like, here's the thing, though, Jack. I think 76 was the big downfall. It was the actually, I'm good. Have you played 76 at all? I haven't.
No. I heard such bad things, and I swear it didn't really get marketed that well. Because like I didn't really hear much about it at all, and then suddenly it was out. So I don't really know what happened with it. To be honest.
That was such a weird, because it was like we were having all these games come out, right? And I think it was the same year as Red Dead 2, and I was like, that's all the only thing I cared about. And then 76 comes out, and I'm like, oh no, I'm so excited! Whoa, what? 4 out of 10. Yeah. And then it just kept coming, and then I was like, oh right.
And they released all of the DLC, and it still just gets ranked, like, just reviewed as absolutely terrible. So what are they doing so badly?
I know.
So just like, are they just trying to think like, oh well, we got reviewed badly, so I guess the next thing we release, we just need to charge loads for, and then some idiots will buy it. Like, there's no point making anything good at this point. Like, how's anyone going to enjoy that? We just need to exploit some idiots, I guess. Like, I have no idea what their plan of action is.
I'm hoping after the acquisition that they won't do, things like a season pass for it, which costs 10 quid every month and stuff like that, because that's not good. But in terms of PS4,
imagine giving you're buying the game as well. Imagine giving 180 quid just a year to one game. That's a lot of money.
Unless you play that game every day, which is fair play.
Yeah, true, but I
don't
know. I don't know, man. Yeah, you probably don't, do you? Like Monster Hunter, I played that for like 100 hours, and I bought that for like 14 quid. Great.
What do you think then about the idea? I mean, you're a Journey. You lended me your Journey copy. What do you think about the idea that price should equal quantity of hours played and such debate?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, like Journey, you can complete in 2-3 hours. It's like you can't go charging for $5 for it, or else you just won't make any money. But like, at least, I think I still haven't played it. I've been meaning to for ages. But Senua's Sacrifice, like that's quite a short one, isn't it?
You have to play.
I know, I do. But I mean, that was a really short game.
Combat's not that deep, though. Combat isn't that deep.
I might look past it because the concept is very interesting.
You have to wear headphones. I mean, if
you're a sound, it's exceptional.
You're a sound designer, mixer, composer. You have to play it just for the sound, for sure.
Nice. But yeah, like that's a game. They said it's going to be shorter, and we'll charge you 20 quid for it. It's like, fair play. Happy with that. So I think like you can do it to an extent. Don't go if they charged 40 quid for that. I mean, I haven't actually played it, so I'm not sure. But then maybe people might have not liked it so much. But if they're charging half the price for a shorter game, that's cool. That's pretty cool of them. But
You're absolutely
obviously
right, Jack.
you can still pay 40 quid for a game that you can complete in like 5 hours, and I think that's not very cool of developers. So
Yeah, 100%. And it could be like the best 5 hours ever, but I think you'd still be there probably thinking like, well, you know, how much joy can you really get per hour from a video game, you know?
yeah, how do we put a price to that?
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, I think there's an argument which is that, you know, which I've heard other people talk about, which is that maybe Skyrim should be worth 100 quid because you've played it for like 1,000 hours. Like, I mean, the game's just ginormous, but it does come down to expectations. And Senua's Sacrifice is a great example because it shows how important the price is to the consumer. And it's often that the reviewers of games media outlets don't take into consideration the price, and therefore it doesn't impact the score when it should. You know,
it really should. Like people could be like, "Senua Sacrifice, great game, but it's just too short." So that's why they charge less for it because it is short. But yeah,
Exactly.
no, I think it's just an expectation. It's like you can't charge 100 quid for a game because unless of course. Like the special edition of whatever new game's coming out, in which case, 120 quid pre-order, why not? I don't know who the hell is buying that, but no, you can't because people don't expect it to be that price. But I think it's a ballsy move and a move I appreciate by Senua Sacrifice team to just half the price.
I think it's Ninja Theory. I think
that's the one. Theory. Yeah, I was just trying to think of it. Couldn't remember. But Jack, it's a ballsy move, and I like it.
100%. They came out gun swinging with a PS5 exclusive that is Final Fantasy 16. Now, before you get into it, you fanboy, okay? And I mean that because you're a fan of Final Fantasy. I want to talk about Final Fantasy 15, and I want to quickly say that it looks like they gave away the literally last boss battle of the game and the front cover. I mean, maybe they're two different things, but it looks like we saw what the image is in the trailer.
There's little fun fact about the older Final Fantasy logos. They do depict a very important image of the game. Like it's hard to often work it out completely, having not played the game yet. But usually, the image on the front is some sort of very important figure in the game. I think it has been the final boss before.
Well, I don't want to get your hopes down, Jack, but I'm pretty sure that it looks like that big eagle thing versus like a lion thing, and I'm pretty sure that's in the trailer, but I could be wrong about that. But
not gonna lie to you, it left such nothing impression on me that I barely remember.
It was so bad.
It's like
all I
can say is
Jack.
I'm glad it's coming out. And it was just like, that's it, because I like Final Fantasy. That's all I can say. I don't remember any of it.
I mean, where do you start? Where do you start?
I don't know. It was so unmemorable. I can't remember.
Oh, it's so bad. Do you know what you do for Final Fantasy 16? Okay, I'll tell you, Square Enix. Okay, you play the theme tune on a piano or a keyboard, like every movie trailer, right? And then you have like one line or two lines of dialogue, which is something like, "Get ready."
Vague.
We're about to go to battle.
Slightly to do with the game.
What's going on?
Some way, yeah. But
and then you show the fucking logo.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And then maybe a few like fast shots of action.
Yeah, sure.
Something like that. Yeah, just like dum 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 dum. And then a few shots of like big classic enemies. So you're like, oh, it's this, is it? Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, rather than just a load of dialogue for like story elements, I have no idea what's happening because I haven't played the game. It's just like, why are you showing me all this stuff that I can't put into any kind of context? And then there's a bit of like the battle system, and it's like, looks like Final Fantasy 15. I'm a fan of that. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to just some story. So I don't know what's going on. Weirdly enough, I think I might have to play the game to find out. But this isn't a way to sell it. because it's just
Oh
confusing
man,
me.
oh man. Square Enix, what is going on? And I can promise you this game ain't coming out till 2022, so why did you show us anyway? But nonetheless, you're a big fan of Final Fantasy 15, Jack. Answer the question. Should I play Final Fantasy 15?
I think you should, Nick.
Is it better than Final Fantasy 13?
Completely different game.
Okay.
A lot of the time the Final Fantasy games just are, but no, it's 15's a really weird one because it's so deeply flawed in so many ways, but like the things they do well, they do so well. Like the combat isn't incredible. The story is a good story told fairly poorly. The world is kind of just quite empty and the quests don't have that much to them, but it's just weird because I just couldn't really stop playing it. And it's because the 4 characters are they're just good together. They just work. Like you want to see them spend time together, not even necessarily doing anything. You just want to hear the like one-off lines that they say to each other. And that's why you run around. Like you'll kill some enemies, it's fine. Like the combat's all right. But like that's why you're playing it, for the interaction between them. And then like it gets to the end of the game and there's like the pacing is all over the place and it's absolutely horrible. But like there's moments in it, and especially right at the end of the game when you're just like, God, it was all worth it in the end. The boys did it. But it's a weird game because it's not good in so many ways, but I still really like it.
Okay.
Really bad in a lot of
ultimately,
ways.
do you think they delivered on, I guess, the promise of Final Fantasy 15? 10 years in development, blah blah blah.
No, not even close. 10 years,
right?
No.
Oh.
I still liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
The combat wasn't in depth. It was just like you slash at things. You can't probably change character. Like to sort of counter enemies, you just press a button with quite a lot of generous timing, and they just replace magic with having to like distill. Say like that you get these like fire deposits around the map, and you have to fill up these containers with the fire deposit.
Oh, so you're like potions almost.
Essentially, and you can just lob those in battle, and that's like the magic system. Except, so it's kind of like a grenade. Except you can just hurt your teammates with it, and you can't control your teammates. So using magic is just a surefire way to just kill your teammates like every time. It's
that's
so
boring.
Stupid.
Yeah,
even like
good.
if you cast like a high level ice spell, like by throwing this like grenade thing, then even your character will like slow down with their hand in front of their eyes, not be able to walk around so easily. And so this is bad.
What about the music?
Yeah, I think it's good. Can't remember now.
Oh.
It's got a Florence and the Machine cover in it, and that's really good. Really good song. Stand By Me, Florence and the Machine cover. Fantastic.
Okay.
Really good. Emotional opening to the game. Brilliant.
Okay.
Recommend.
So, higher hopes for Final Fantasy 16. I can't help but think of the game lower just because it's an exclusive.
Yeah.
I know that sounds horrible, but that's just...
No, I get you. Entirely. It's like... And also that, the trailer just didn't do it justice, man.
No.
Just didn't do it. It's like the amount of grandeur that 15 had as like, wow.
Yeah.
The first Final Fantasy game in so long, and it's finally coming out 15. Like, they made it feel so huge.
Yeah.
And this one, it doesn't feel like it at all.
Yeah.
You get absolutely none of it.
Yeah. It didn't even look that epic in the... Like, even though there was battles and massive monsters, it didn't even look that epic.
No, it didn't. And it should. But I guess it's sort of like, you know how the problem that like Marvel have faced with how like Endgame was such a massive thing that a lot of people are like, to me, the MCU is done. I don't need to follow that anymore because I feel like it's complete. Like, and they're going to carry it on afterwards, but it's never going to quite feel the same because how do you top that? And I think Final Fantasy like maybe they're at a similar point. Like everything else, like all of the older games seemed like their complete own thing, but they built up 15 to such a level where it felt like such a huge game. How could they possibly follow it with the next one? Even if 15 didn't deliver, everyone thought like, oh my god, Final Fantasy 15. And when it comes to future games, how are they going to deliver continuously, bigger and bigger every time? There has to be one which seems not as important. Maybe they're just getting it out of the way now.
Yeah, 100%. I do. I mean, we talked about this on the show, but like, you got to think Final Fantasy VII Remake, if it is got another or has got another 2 parts coming, shouldn't you just put this on the back burner maybe? Because it looks like that got received very well. A lot of people like that game, so
I can't believe it's in parts. It's like, do you actually have to buy the game 3 times?
I mean, apparently people think it's good enough, right? I haven't heard many complaints saying, oh, it's not, oh, they could have fit all this on one disc, which is interesting. I haven't played it. Have you played it?
No, I haven't.
No.
Never played the original, so I was never that sort of invested in getting it.
Oh, I tried it, Jack, and guess what? It's a PS1 game, and it hasn't aged well, so yeah.
Makes sense.
I did find it. It wasn't like, oh, I can't bear this crap. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of like, I've got Doom there. I'm probably just going to hop on that.
How it's just like, so many ease of life things come with new games that it's just hard to go back to old ones. Like, you love the old ones, but it's just too hard to play nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, because there are flaws and I just can't look past them anymore.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, I mean, Spider-Man, have you played Spider-Man? Did you play Spider-Man?
Only a little bit, but I have to admit, the new one does look really good.
Okay.
It looks cool, I'll say.
Okay. What game? From what?
Okay. Fine.
I'm just thinking, what game stood out to you kind of the most in this recent showcase? Do you remember?
Demon Souls, Nick. Demon Souls.
Of course.
Always Demon Souls.
Okay. I mean, I saw a screenshot comparison of that boss with the 3 eyes, and I was looking at it, and I was like, how dare anyone question this is next gen? I mean, look at it. It looks incredible. And we all know Demon Souls hasn't aged that well graphically.
No, it's still playable. I think it's actually I remember playing it and it's pretty smooth. It's not perfect by any means, but it's actually not bad. But yeah, just sort of you get areas which are a bit empty and you think textures aren't too great there. But it still plays pretty well, I think. But the new one just looks great. Looks really good.
I mean, you must have been glad when they announced this, but I am thinking or wondering, you're a massive Dark Souls fan. Demon Souls has been the underdog, shall we say, of the Souls games. Do you think this could turn people's heads and go, actually, this one might be just as good as Dark Souls 1 or 3 or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know if people will think it's as good as Dark Souls 1, because that is that feels like the one which started it all, one which people really gravitate towards and respect a lot. But yeah, I think it will give the game a lot more traction, because a lot of people just they didn't know about it when the PS3 was out. And then people start getting into Dark Souls when the PS4 comes out. And it's well, they don't have a PS3, or people don't have their PS3 anymore, so they can't go back to Demon Souls. So this is a good chance to play it. I think it will sell really well. Not anywhere near as well as Skyrim, obviously.
Yeah.
I think it'll sell well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good game. It is the underdog, but it is really good. It was the first one I ever played, and I think it's definitely worth playing.
Yeah, I remember when you told me, I'm pretty sure I was around your house and you were like, oh yeah, no, that's the spiritual prequel of Dark Souls. And I was like, I didn't know there was a game before Dark Souls. I thought Dark Souls was literally the one, and then just from then.
Yeah, it didn't really get much traction in the West in general, I don't think. It was released here, but people only started picking it up once they'd already played Dark Souls sort of thing. But I came to it a bit late, so I was like, oh, well, I can't play Dark Souls before I've played Demon Souls then.
God, yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's really good. Really good game.
Is it harder than the other games? I always felt like it
No,
was.
it's easier really, just because like
Really?
you know the whole Estus flask thing,
Yeah.
like how you get a certain amount to use. That doesn't have it in Demon Souls. You just have like unlimited health items that you can buy. So
Seriously?
so you can just heal constantly because if you have enough souls, you can just buy like 99 of them.
Oh.
So you're fine, really.
Do you think they'll change that?
Probably, yeah.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
it's
enough.
like a bit of a broken system because it's like you can just use it whenever you want to.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, no, it looked good. Did you play the Shadow of the Colossus remake, Jack?
I didn't know. I figured they're not going to change it too much. I like the original. From what I know, it was more of a graphical overhaul than anything else.
Yeah, I
And
played through it earlier this year. I think that's true. I wanted to tell you about my experience with it, Jack, because we both, I mean, like, I feel like we knew, like, I played it for the first time, like, something like 2018, and I was like, shit, this game is incredible.
yeah, it's really good.
Like, you get to, like, the second boss from the end, and you're like, what is this game? What is this game? And,
You're
like,
how
you're
have I
getting
been
hints and
invested in this?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, like,
this is
and then you get to the ending and you're like, oh, it actually has an ending and there's a story and oh god, it's so good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even that revolutionary, but it's just good.
No,
enough,
it's not.
right?
It's just extremely well executed.
Yes.
Except
it
from that
is.
fucking boss with the geysers where you have to get it to flip over.
Oh yeah.
I've tried replaying the game and I get to that one, I just can't do it anymore. It's like, how did I ever do this? It's so annoying. It's so poorly designed.
Well, that's why I want to come on to you, Jack, because I played the remake. And
You want to come on to me?
but I've got to say, that first playthrough is magical.
Yeah,
you don't know what the
it's not the
Colossus
same the next time.
Oh, Jack, you don't know what the Colossi is going to look like. You don't know how to kill it. And then I played through the remake, and like, it was obviously very impressive. It was great to see all the bosses again and stuff like that. But you get through it in like 4 or 5 hours, and that's not even like particularly that good.
Yeah, because there's some bosses where you're like, I know how to kill this one, it's fine. And then you kill it really quickly. You're like, well, that didn't really have the profound effect on me it did last time.
Exactly.
And it means that the annoying ones then become more annoying because you know how to kill it, but you just can't.
Exactly. And then you get to the ending, and it just doesn't have the payoff. And I just want to tell you how special I think that first playthrough is for that game.
Yeah,
It just really, I don't regret at all playing the remake, but it just did not have that effect on me. It really, like, it is one of those games where I think play it once and probably leave it alone. Probably.
It's a one-time player, definitely. Yeah, agree with you there.
I don't know many games that are like that, to be honest.
No, I mean, like, everyone has the sort of game which they get that certain nostalgic feeling for, like, it's like Pokemon Emerald and stuff for me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'll never be able to play that for the first time again. But that's more just a personal sort of feeling to it rather than, Shadow of the Colossus is like, it's got a big, profound effect. Right. And you won't get it again.
It's such a shame. Yeah. I mean, fascinating you bring up Emerald, Jack. That's a great pick for a nostalgic game. What are your thoughts on, what are your memories on that game and stuff? Like, was anything specific? Or did you play Ruby and Sapphire before it? Or
Oh yeah, Ruby and Sapphire beforehand. It's just sort of like Emerald is like the
pinnacle.
The real rounded out version of the two. But I think it's just because I was like 7 or 8 and I knew Pokemon existed from my sister having Pokemon Red, but I never really played it at all. But then you've got this game which actually looks good, like, as opposed to Red and Blue, which look absolutely terrible. They do. They look awful. And you've got just like literally 200 animals, and you don't know where they are. You don't know how to get them. You don't know what level they're going to evolve. You don't know what moves you're going to get. You have absolutely no idea. And at that point, I don't know if the internet had any guides. I don't know if I would even know how to find them. But it's just a completely pure experience. It's lovely. Unspoiled, virgin lands.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. That's nice. Is there anything else, Jack, you feel like you would like to talk about with the next gen or games or
Well,
Xbox or?
Well, you said you'd be getting Xbox, yes?
I think so. Yeah.
Why do you think Xbox is definitely the way forward as opposed to PlayStation, other than the price?
Yeah, sure. So I do think for sure, without question, PlayStation will have better games at least for the first 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, this acquisition can change a lot of that. I mean, I think the importance of the acquisition is if there was one game that was going to make players buy an Xbox, it's something like GTA, FIFA, COD,
Yeah,
and then like
definitely.
Cyberpunk, and then it goes pretty much like Fallout, Elder Scrolls. Like it's up there. It's up there.
Is Cyberpunk coming out on PlayStation or is that just Xbox?
No, that's coming out on PlayStation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just meant I feel like if Xbox bought CD Projekt Red, that would probably be a bit of a game changer as well. Probably not as much though. But anyway, yeah. Long story short, I think Xbox only in the sense that it seems like it is more powerful, and since I'm spending that much money, I thought, well, I'll get the most powerful one. I didn't get the most powerful one last gen, and I paid for it when I played Fallen Order, and it was shocking experience on Xbox One.
Was that 1884? That thing?
No. Jedi Fallen Order.
What was the 1884 game?
The Order, 1886.
That's what
or
I'm
thinking.
thinking.
Yeah.
Wasn't that also terrible?
I heard. Yeah.
What was it? Just the performance for Last Jedi, like, just not good at all.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Order. Oh no, Jedi.
We're all confused now. I was earlier, but you were talking about Star Wars.
Jedi, yes. No, Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi. Boba Fett. No,
I
Jedi
have the
Fallen
high ground. Don't try it.
To be fair, I just rewatched them, and that bit is stupid.
I hate you.
No, Jedi Fallen Order is really good. Really good.
Oh, cool.
Not a die-hard Star Wars fan, but it's got Dark Souls elements for sure. For sure. It's really good. Not perfect, but really good. So I want to buy Xbox because I want the third-party games on Xbox. So Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And then I will buy a PS5 for sure. Yeah. When,
wrangle yourself both. Mr. Big Bucks.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Just get a Switch while you're at it, why not?
Oh, don't waste my time with that childish bullshit, honestly.
I'm a man.
Oh, God. Did you see this new Super Mario thing they're releasing?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you, Jack. I'll tell you.
All right, yeah,
okay.
Go for it.
So it's Mario 64, as it was. Super Mario Sunshine, as it is, or was. And Super Mario Galaxy, as it was, in a package, available for the celebration of the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. Only available till March 2021.
Why?
Good question, Jack. Because Nintendo are fucking stupid.
What? Is it like physical release or just downloadable?
I think it's limited physical release. Sounds like nobody can get their hands on any more copies. Is downloadable until March 2021.
Well, the problem with physical copies for Nintendo is they always don't seem to have that many. So that's why all their games is just like, you look for GameCube games nowadays, and it's like, they're all more expensive than they were at full price. Brilliant. Like fucking 15 years ago. I don't know why. It's always the way with Nintendo games for some reason. But I mean, why would they do that?
The fact they released the game's not even slightly remastered is unbelievable. But apparently, it's the second best game second best-selling game this year already, and it's been out for like 2-3 weeks.
And all they had to do was take the files for a game and just plop it onto a disc.
Correct.
Jesus.
Or a cartridge, whatever they do. But that is exactly what they did.
Cartridge,
I mean, Nintendo fans, you're putting yourself in a corner. You're putting yourself in a corner. You wonder why they don't remaster games. It's because you keep fucking buying them. But
You'll buy it anyway. Why would they need to? Yeah.
Exactly. But I'll stop ranting. But are you excited about next gen, mate? Are you pumped? Are you feeling the goods?
Not yet, but I don't think I ever have been at release. So it will just take that special game, which I know for a fact is Elden Ring. And that's all it will take.
Is Demon Souls coming out on PS4?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not actually 100% sure, but I don't think so.
Did you get a chance to play Horizon Zero Dawn by any chance?
No, I've never actually played it. I know what it's like, but no, I've never got around to it. It's just because I know it's a big game. It's a big time investment. Like, I don't play many games which you have to sink a lot of hours to.
Sure.
Like Monster Hunter was the last one. Other than that, yeah, just the odd game of Warzone every few days, maybe.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on to serious things, Jack.
Of course.
You started a musical therapy course. Is that correct?
I have. First day today.
First day today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, break it down for me. What exactly is this?
What is this?
What is this?
No, it's music therapy is a way to use music, both music that you might play through a speaker or MP3 device, or
Very
music
good.
that you play live,
Very good.
in a therapeutic manner. And there are a lot of different ways you can employ that through working with different individuals, like those with dementia or autism, or people who have had such severe strokes that they can't walk or speak anymore. There's like all sorts of things. There's loads of applications. Like some of the cool ones are just how people with dementia like can't form any new memories basically, and they just forget everything. But as I'm sure you know, but music.
Wait,
can,
what?
like,
What are we talking about? Low blow.
Yeah.
It's a low blow. It's a low blow.
So music has this weird way of like, because it's like wired differently in your brain, basically the way you what's the word? You can cut this out. Process process music in your brain.
Yeah.
It can essentially the brain is has what's called plasticity, so it can rework itself in different ways, and you can like reform memories that you might have once lost, but more so you can just always remember music, and it'll bring back the memories associated with it. So like people who can't remember anything because they have dementia, you play a song for them from when they were 20 and suddenly they're like back in the zone, like back to when all their happy memories were just while that song's playing.
Wow.
Or even like with things like strokes, you can actually rewire someone's brain essentially. So if they can't speak anymore, you can start to get them to learn a few words because their brain is essentially being rewired through these different neural pathways, which music is helping the brain find.
That is incredible.
It's very cool.
So music is one of the strongest memory triggers ever.
Basically, yeah. Especially for dementia. Like, it's really, really important for dementia.
Okay, so when you play the song, how long does that last? Just until it's over and then it's kind of gone? Or when they're back in the
depends on the
zone?
person a lot of the time, yeah. I mean, for some people it will barely work on. Like, some people can have such serious dementia that maybe all they'll do is just tap their hand to it. But even that's like a good sign because it means they're being receptive to something. Like, the mind just picks up on music and it never seems to deteriorate, like even when everything else has.
Wow.
So yeah, it's very cool. There's a lot of applications. Cool. Started that off, so who knows, couple years practicing professional.
Yeah, no, I assume you have to be quite skilled because, you know, if they're going to be like, okay, so first question, the therapy, I assume there's some links between, you know, classical music and relaxation and stuff like that. But in terms of memory triggers, does that mean you could literally be requested to play literally anything? Like, you know, oh, this 8-year-old, he was a metalhead. We need you to play Metallica for him. So Could that be the case, or
it could be? Yeah, yeah. I mean, in that case, like, you wouldn't necessarily need to go in and just play it on the guitar yourself. There's one woman who does this thing called like Playlist for Life. So it's like they'll work with someone who has dementia, they'll work with their family and sort of work out all of the songs that were important to them back in the day and make a playlist for it, like on an iPod or whatever, or on a CD, and then play that for them. And it sort of just brings a new life back to that person because they're experiencing all their old memories through these songs that they've associated with them. But,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Very good.
But yeah, had a nice. I was just gonna say it's pretty nice day. Like today, just played little improvisation with a girl who played the harp, just on my bass. That was quite nice.
She played the harp on your bass.
No, she was playing the harp. I was playing the bass, and then sort of we had a little back and forth. That was quite nice.
Oh wow! Sexual energy.
It's quite good. Not quite.
No. So practicing or applying these applications, what does that look like?
Applying these applications. I think an application by definition has to be applied.
What does that look like? What does that look like in terms of a full-time role?
Well, you can like what it looks like we'll be likely to do because of like coronavirus and stuff. You can't go into old people's homes right now. Probably be working in schools and stuff with kids, so like kids that maybe have special needs or aren't behaving properly, you just work with them. You can like be sat around in a little circle, everyone has a percussion instrument, just start doing your thing. Everyone has a little improv little flourish. Right, everyone keeps a little beat, and it's just like it's a way to communicate without speaking, which can be quite helpful for a lot of people, I think, especially like people with autism and stuff. So it's like communicating without words. Yeah,
no, for sure. You're getting the feelings out which you can't express. So would you? I don't know if you've thought this far ahead, but would it be through a private agency which then is hired by the school itself, or would you work, say, for like a local trust or something, or a charity or something like that?
Either one, to be honest. A lot of people work for charities. Some people have their own business. NHS has music therapists, admittedly not too many, but like they do have them. So that's, you're bang on, basically.
Very cool.
It's a very, very, very small profession at the minute, up and coming.
I mean,
there's not many of them about.
What you said about the link between people like reactivating from the music cues, that sounds huge to me.
Literally scientifically proven. Yeah, it's like extremely useful way of treating people with dementia. And even like people in like palliative care who are literally dying, like you just make their life a bit better by playing them some music. And they tend that relaxes them quite a lot, and it just makes the quality of life better in general. So it's nice. It's a nice thing to do.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just so curious when the generations get older and like the requests get weirder, you know, like when me and Tom
this is
are on
exactly
our
what I've thought about. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, when me and Tom are on our deathbeds, you're gonna have to be screaming Kanye West, and then we're just gonna be like, I mean, like,
me and Tom were talking to one of his workmates, and they said, we were just talking about this exact thing, and it's like, oh yeah, what would you say is your guys' favourite song? And the girl he works with, her favourite song is Chelsea Dagger. You can imagine being in the dementia care home with it's like there's not like, you know, back in the day, like everyone just liked Elvis, everyone liked Frank Sinatra, everyone liked Tom Jones.
Yeah.
Nowadays, what the hell are you going to play for people when people at the minute have demementia? It's going to be weird.
Jamie T.
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys. Sticks and stones. I mean, great question. I'll worry about the requests, but what are you going to do? You probably have a lot of potent. See, I don't know. We have to talk about this, Jack. Like, without being too jealous, I guess, of their situation, right? It's difficult for me to not sound like an old man and go, yeah, the current artists, I just can't quite see them lasting as much as even artists I liked when I was or
Oh,
even
no.
artists in the 90s.
I think it might just be like a problem with like Spotify and stuff. Like you can listen to so much stuff now that you don't latch onto anything. Like when Elvis was people barely had anything to listen to anyway. And Elvis was really good, so everyone listened to Elvis, like literally everyone. But like nowadays, there's lots of different genres. You can have access to all of it, and it just means you can just move on. As soon as you're a little bit bored, you just move on. So I don't know if people are really going to have that kind of like lasting memory with a certain song anymore, because songs just change all the time. Songs don't stay in the charts for long.
I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you what number one is right now.
No idea.
Period.
Absolutely no idea.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, good idea.
Number one.
Do you remember, like, sort of 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, when the entirety of like the top 40 was literally basically just Ed Sheeran and Drake?
Yeah, I mean, every time Ed Sheeran
this
album comes out, it's just like what is
has
going
the
on?
music world come to? I mean, I don't mind him; he's fine, but it's just like you can't have every single song on his album just immediately go straight to the top, and then Drake afterwards.
So I've got at the moment. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, I've got singles. I've got WAP by Cardi B featuring Megan.
That's number one.
Thee Stallion, and I've heard that song, and it is interesting. It's a very interesting song, and by interesting, yeah.
But it's like, I think it's just it's so grotesque that it's just the people listening to it. I feel like are just like 14-year-olds who are just like, oh my god, it's such a
badass
crazy
record.
song. Yeah.
Not like they say record.
Is that actually at the top? I can't seem to find the top 40. I'm looking
I've got
for it now.
officialcharts.com. I mean, I'm not sure if that's right. But,
might be taking me to it. Oh yeah, WAP.
WAP, is that right?
What the hell else have we got? Like, Mood.
Get this.
24K Golden featuring Ian Dior. I have no idea. I don't even know what that song sounds like.
Mate,
wait, Jason Derulo is number 9 in the charts. Fair play, Jason.
But
been
like
a while
you
since
say,
I've seen you around.
Like you say, Jack, the place of the charts has changed in the sense that nobody cares what number one is. People almost don't even care what number one album is now, and people don't care what Grammys. People don't care who get the Grammys. So it's kind of like, okay, if we're going to rate this by cultural impact, which you probably can't get an idea of until at least sort of 3 to 5 years after it's out anyway, you got to sit there and be like, I'm not sure how we're going to solve this problem, guys, because you all want Spotify, but nothing's really impacting. And if it does, I can guarantee the CD sales aren't there, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the problem of, well, you can't perform live because of COVID. So how are these artists going to make money? And then, I don't know, dude, like you say, like that song, like if you honestly like that song, fine, but it is just grotesque. It's just pushing that extreme boundary. Like, how naked can we possibly get before we're pulled?
I'll tell you what is good. You're familiar with Ben Shapiro?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen the video of Ben Shapiro singing WAP?
I haven't.
So good.
Is it?
You want to YouTube that?
Oh,
he censors the word pussy, of course.
Right.
So it just comes out as P word.
Oh, Americans are so
P word.
Oh dear. Yeah.
It's good.
What was I gonna say?
I assume you cut out stuff like, what am I gonna say?
It was something about Elvis and the impact of Elvis, I think.
You'll never get anything else like it anymore. Like, there's just too much music.
Yeah, there is too much music. I'm
It's also
interested that the music industry / the artists haven't fought for more of their own right / music streams. Like I know we've had
Mhm.
failed attempts, but I am genuinely surprised they haven't all banded together and just gone,
yeah.
yeah, we'll just make our own and get our own money at
Oh,
this
everyone
point.
hates Spotify because
Right.
no one makes any money from it.
Mm.
Like even
But
even
Spotify
big
make
artists
money.
don't make a lot. Oh yeah, like I
Yeah.
think the guy who, like the CEO, is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
But artists don't make a great deal. I don't think. I don't know much about it, but I know that people tend to not be too supportive of Spotify at the moment.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And these artists, I just don't know,
These
mate.
artists, if you can even call them that. No,
I
honestly, I look
just-
at the top 40 and I don't know who anyone is.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Maybe
they're all just DJs. Like they're all just DJs and like then Drake
trap
thrown in there.
artists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
I
what I
don't know
was
who any
going
of them
to
are.
say. The Ed Sheeran Drake thing, Jack, the biggest insult to me, and I guess you could argue this has always been true, but the biggest insult to me is that it doesn't say anything. Like, the reason Ed Sheeran's that... Right, so I had this debate with... Not really debate, discussion with India's dad, right? And he was like... I think he asked me something like, Nick, why do you think Ed Sheeran's so popular? And I sort of said, well, it appeals to everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then I think his point was basically like, well, one of the reasons it might appeal to everyone is because it doesn't say anything. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. He said, why don't you like Ed Sheeran? And I said, well, because it doesn't say anything. It's like nothing's there, right? Like you hear the beat and you're like, nothing's catching me. Nothing's gaining my interest, right? Like you listen to Thinking Out Loud and it just makes you want to cringe into a black hole of your own body and just move away from all radio stations.
Yeah. But all of them sound absolutely fantastic because they've been mixed by like the best professionals in the world. So
100%.
it's like music which doesn't really do anything, but just sounds great regardless.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
it. Like, if I listen to Shape of You through headphones, all I can think is like, fuck, that sounds good. Like not because I like the song in any way. It's just like the actual sounds themselves sound fantastic.
But then you get the problem
deny
of live performances where you're like, that doesn't sound like that, and that doesn't sound like that. And then you get rappers turning up who aren't even rapping. And it's like, okay, so Spotify's ruining albums and live performances are suffering because of rap music. Not good for music, I'd say. But like, yeah, like, like, oh, what's your favorite album? Divide. And it's like, do you have nothing to say? Do you have nothing to feel? Are you serious? I would prefer you say 1975 or something with some vibe.
It's really inoffensive and it's been on the radio lots lately. So that's my favorite album.
Right. It's funny actually. Rasheen, her argument is that middle-aged mums rule the music industry, and it's hard to see. I think they do. It's hard to see how they don't.
Yeah, young people don't really listen to the radio or anything. Like, middle-aged women are the ones who have the radio on.
100%.
That's that, when they're in the car, when they're at home. Like
100%. And like, oh, Adele's album's like the best-selling album ever. And it's like, well, yeah, because it appeals to everyone, but like age 30 plus who actually still buy CDs.
Yeah, it's the one on the radio, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I know I'm going a bit of a rant here, but then we can get onto the problem of radio. And these are all creating gaps in the market, FYI. But you get onto the problem of radio, which is that they literally have a selection of 30 songs, which they just have on repeat. And I know stations like Absolute Radio are like, no repeats, like no, was it no repeat
we
guarantee?
won't ever repeat a song in a day. And then the next day they just play every single same song.
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
I know you're not repeating it in a day, just like you've said. That's like, that's why I never listen to the radio. It's terrible.
I was going to ask you, what are your thoughts on all of this, Jack, as a musician?
Yeah, I just literally never listen to the radio. There's nothing to listen to anymore. But I mean, to be honest, I don't really listen to music much anymore at all. It's kind of strange. Like, I like playing music, and I'll write my own, but I have any urge to listen to much. I don't think there's any new music right now that I have found which I am interested in. And it's like I could listen to my old music, but I've listened to it an awful lot. I'm just kind of done. Can't find anything that I want to listen to anymore.
Ben Mills, a guest on this show, on this podcast, he was talking about how 24, 25 is apparently the age where you begin to stop discovering music, as it were. And getting to that age, it is really easy to see why that is. I mean, I spoke to Tom about the fact that I was like, Tom, we're on a cycle, right? We wait till Deftones, Korn, Metallica, whoever it is, like Kendrick, Kanye, we wait till they release an album, and then we just wait another 2 years for the next album for 20 of our favorite artists. And I said to him, I was like, I think this is probably where we're supposed to create music forever, because it seems like the only entertaining way to keep yourself involved in music at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, Tom said to me before about how like metal bands are kind of weird because there aren't any new ones. Like the only metal bands that you would want to listen to are the ones who have been around since like the 90s. And that's crazy, really. Like they're all quite old now.
Yeah, very old. And what's worrying also is that I would argue that the rock and metal scene has probably the best live scene in terms of people showing up, people enjoying the music. But like you say, there's just I don't know whether it's the lack of interest in the genre. I don't know whether it's the lack of promotion via festivals and not giving the younger bands higher headline slots.
Maybe,
I think clearly downloader interest in selling tickets, not creating a cultural event. So, we don't want Deftones and Korn headlining because we know Kiss are going to sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know, it's very complicated. But Tom's right. It's a really troubling sign. I mean, we're getting to the point now where, like, literally within 5 years, it's either going to be complete repeat or no one's left at this point.
Yeah. What happens when all the big ones you've got? Yeah, say you say Korn, Deftones, they're very big. Well, Metallica don't really make much more new music, do they? And if they do, people don't really listen to it that much.
I mean, I would say their albums hit hard in the genre, but I know what you're saying. Like at the end of the day, it's the back catalogue.
Yeah, once all the bands that you like stop making new music because they're old,
right?
What do you do?
Right.
Because then you're just stuck.
But surely it's an age thing, Jack. Surely it's an age thing because there's just no way that there's just a lack of music being made. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but like younger metal fans, like who are sort of when you got into metal, like now that they're 14 or whatever, and they're starting to like metal, are they just starting to listen to Metallica and stuff like that now? Iron Maiden, old stuff their like dad liked or whatever.
Yeah, I think they start with that to be because it's so dominant. It's so it's a bit like rap, I suppose. Like you're very, very, very likely to listen to a Drake first, aren't you? And then to be fair, one of the good things is that you've got to remember that every time you see Metallica or System, there's probably thousands of kids there who are dying to see the band for the first time.
Yeah. It's just other than the old bands, what is new? What is new for them? I actually don't know.
I think Tom would say progressive metal. I would disagree because it's so specific. I think... I'm not sure, Jack. I'm not sure. I want to bring up one of your favourite bands, Fall Out Boy, or it used to be, because their turn, however conscious it... Oh my God. What were they doing?
Do they even like the music they're putting out? I don't know.
Right.
It's like they're clearly just doing what they want to do up until like save rock and roll. And then after that, I don't even know if they like their music. It's like they thought, let's just be massive.
Weren't they already massive, genuinely?
They were big. Yeah, they were like really big on pop punk. Like just that kind of scene. Like they're huge. But then they just swap genres.
Right.
Into pop. Yeah. And it's really weird. And I think they're just bigger than they've ever been before.
Which is incredible, by the way.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know how it
it's
happened.
incredible.
Yeah, I have no idea how they managed to do that, but like their new music is not very good. It's just not very good.
Well, I remember watching a set they played when I think they headlined Reading and Leeds, and I was just my personal interpretation.
They don't sound good live. They just don't.
And also, they didn't look that happy. Like,
yeah,
I always thought, as that band, it would probably be one of their dreams to headline, and it feels to me like they lost a bit of their soul to do that, or a lot of their soul.
So they just come out, "Hello, Reading," and then play a couple classic songs, play a couple new ones, couple classics, just roll with that for a bit, and then goodbye, Reading. Like, yeah, there's not as much energy there anymore, I feel. I don't know why they changed, but I think it's still teenage girls mostly listen to him. But
sure.
As it should be with pop music, eh?
As it should
be.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Jack, we were both participating in teenage bands. Did you have or still have a dream for that to become the main job?
Nah, not these days. I'm all right with that. At terms, I'm not the best musician, so it's like I'm cool with it.
Sure.
I can't be bothered to write songs anyway.
Fair enough.
I just like having a jam. It's fine. I'll get another job.
When you were a teenager, was that one of the priorities, if not the priority, was not to necessarily make it, but just to have a bit of a go, as it were.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just like, because it's fun to do, and you want to do a job which is fun and potentially make lots of money. Obviously, it's doubtful that you will make lots of money, but it's a nice hope to have. You're never going to achieve it if you don't try, eh, Nick?
100%. Why do you think fundamentally it is so difficult to make it into into an artist?
I just don't think there's enough people listening to new bands, is there? Like they don't get the promotion. Like very specific artists get big, and I don't really know what the music scenes are like for other genres at the minute, but obviously pop music is very insular to certain people. Like not a lot of new stuff comes out really. I just don't know. I don't really understand the music industry anymore.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I look at like the top 3 artists at the moment, and I'm talking very topical. You've probably got The Weeknd, Post Malone, and Billie Eilish. One of them's like 18, and she's been manufacturing an image since the age of 15.
Yeah.
One of them, uses autotune and 808 drum and bass hits, and
it's like a reminiscent of the 80s kind of thing, isn't it?
100%.
It works. I'll take it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Clearly it works for people. And I just don't get that excited by the music,
No.
And it's a bit of a shame, really. And you probably look at, it's not a coincidence that Post Malone and Billie Eilish moved to LA right before they got big.
Yeah.
So, I don't think
maybe.
I don't think people highlight that enough, especially in the showbiz industry. Like, I live in LA. It's like, right. So you are literally in the central hub for all connections for the entertainment world ever.
Yeah. How come like just everyone lives in LA?
It's like the best way I could explain it from my understanding, Jack. It's a bit like London, right? It's like, oh no, he lives in London, like business center, like LA is just the place. Like Glastonbury is the festival.
You're not going to have a massive musician in England who doesn't just live in London,
right? But then you get Stormzy and stuff, right? So like, but then you could even argue that he comes up because people like that idea, and he's above everybody else in his field, perhaps in terms of popularity at least. And then you get a couple of other people like Dave and Skepta and stuff, but they never make it to the USA. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, is Stormzy like big in the USA?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really know how people like Americans would react to grime particularly. I know Man's Not Hot sort of went over there for a bit and they didn't see the irony in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Didn't they think he was
Yeah.
serious and stuff? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man's Not Hot.
Such a good song, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah.
I think it's because like the appeal of it. I mean, the only reason I ever like grime is because it's honestly quite funny.
Sure. Mate,
Like that.
it's
Some of them are just comedians.
hilarious.
Yeah, some of them are just comedians. It's great.
Honestly, when I say at work for a joke, like, you're getting way too big for your boots, like, how can you not laugh at that? It's
Yeah.
just a funny thing to say, you know? Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's just like the stuff like I've got a black ski mask, but I don't ski. I snowboard, dash in MC off piste. It's so bad. There's such shit songwriting, and it's just hilarious. I love it.
I know. And you can't help but think that's related to the fact that these songs aren't sticking quite as much as Elvis. But then I suppose Elvis isn't necessarily a songwriting beautician. But
There's too many lyrics to remember in grime, man.
I can't even hear him half the time. I'm more interested in the beat, for sure. One of the things I want to bring up, Jack, I know this is very free flow, by the way, but I am enjoying how we're focusing on what's coming up. But I just wanted to say, is there anything that you wanted to talk about particularly while we're here in this moment? Anything that's coming to mind?
Well, we
could go back to video games if you'd like.
Cover the games, which is sort of the main thing on my mind. So
Good.
I'm happy.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to ask you about, Jack, was you've created your own video game soundtrack.
Yes.
Based on the game.
Thank you for the attention.
Of course.
But I'm going to go with Grease.
I'll go with Gree as well, since you're the creator. I don't know.
Gris. Either one of those for Switch originally, and then PS4 it came out for. PC as well. Yeah, it's just it's mostly what I spent lockdown doing. Just wanted a nice project to do, bit of music. It's been very helpful in teaching me how to actually like use music technology a bit more. I always assumed I could use it, but you never really getting into the nuances because I never followed up on actually finishing a project. So it's good. It's been nice to actually get it done. And now I feel like I'm more learned now. You can find it under Jack Steele on SoundCloud.
There it is. I have to ask, Jack, after you've made it, do you feel like a part of you's at peace is the best way I can explain what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I guess. It's like, it gets a bit aggravating at the end because your work to it is never finished. You can always make something better. You just have to get to a point where you're like, I'm just happy with it now. You could still improve it, but you just can't keep doing it. Otherwise, you'll never finish.
What sort of things would you be able to improve, like the mixing or?
Yeah, just tiny tweaks to how it sounds. Like there is literally never an end to it. So you just have to reach a point and say, I'm happy enough with that. Yeah. And I'm not fully happy with it, but I don't think anyone who's serious about writing anything ever would be entirely happy because you just have to get to that point where like, I've got to release it at some point. Maybe there's something I can add that would make it better, but who knows?
Well, I also think that, if you had a couple of people working on it 24 hours a day for you, that would definitely, as in like big artists and stuff, that would definitely help. Do you think, I mean, I hear that pretty much from every artist, right? From painters to musicians to architecture. That's not what they're called. What the fuck are they called?
Architects.
Thank you for that. Cutting that bit out. Jesus,
so many painters and architects, I'm sure.
And architects.
Do you?
No. I actually knew one ish. But what I mean is the general vibe I get is that work's never done. Like it's never.
You just have to reach an agreeable finish.
Yeah. So what drove you to make that?
It's just I needed to write some music, really. Just needed to get something creative out, really. I've got probably about 100 projects or so on Ableton that I just haven't finished. I thought it was about time I actually write some songs that I have finished.
Fair.
So I just wanted to get that out. Also,
Fair.
video game music is nice. It's less it's something to structure something around. It's not just writing a beat. Like not particularly into that. I like having a nice ambient kind of feel to a nice, like, especially Gris is a really like just colourful, really nice looking game. So I thought that would be perfect, you know?
Definitely. Very vibey game, even without the music.
Mm.
And I would argue that video game music is one of the most underrated music genres
No, I love
ever.
listening to game music. Oh, the Hollow Knight soundtrack, man, it's so good.
Yes, it is.
So good.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That was an inspiration as well. Just really wanted to crack out something like that. But not close. Not close, but don't know if I ever would be.
Really good. Now that you've done it, I guess you look at other composers and music and you go, fair play kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
That's not as easy as it looks, maybe kind of thing.
It gives you an appreciation, like when a say soundtrack doesn't even stick out to you particularly, and you're just playing a game, not really paying attention. It does make you listen to it and be a bit more like they put a lot of work into that. It does sound good. Like I'm not noticing it that much. It's not perfect, but yeah, they did a good job. And it just lets you appreciate things a bit more, I think.
What do you think about the argument that music within films and video games and TV shows should serve as a background emphasis, and it should promote whatever the main priority is, that being visuals, I guess, or gameplay, over the music itself, not taking center stage, perhaps, maybe sometimes, but taking a side stage, if that makes sense.
Sometimes it's like digital effects, I guess. Sometimes the best edition is what you can't even notice because it's just so well ingrained in the background.
Right. Exactly.
But
exactly.
Yeah, it depends what you're looking for. Obviously, like, yeah, if it's a really intense scene, you just want to have some really pounding music along with it. You don't necessarily need it to be catchy because you're looking at the action which is going on. You just need it to fit the theme. So you're not even really paying much attention to it, but it's still getting your heart racing and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'd say about that.
Okay. No, problem solved. All right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we both love games, as we already said, and we like music and stuff, but I want to get your general vibe on Final Fantasy again, because I'm really quite fascinated with the series, Jack, because
the fact that it just exists.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like...
Don't know how it's still just a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly,
it's just like they've been consistently good enough. Like, up until 7, they were always good. Sold pretty well in Japan, I think. And they're just like really good classic RPGs. And then everyone just loved 7, it seems. And then everyone just loved 10 for some reason. It's not that good. It's not that good. Ha ha ha. And like, I think, to be honest, I think just all of the hype from 7 has just carried it all the way through. People have just been like, yeah, they are brilliant games ever since then. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I feel like, unfortunately, it almost exists because it has to.
Yeah.
But I'm still quite impressed.
It can't die now.
Right.
It's gone on so long. How could it possibly?
Right. But I still can't help but go, obviously we're defenders of Final Fantasy 13. There are some good elements about 15, and it did eventually come out, and it did seem to sell well with loads of post-launch DLC and stuff. And then Final Fantasy 14 had the whole reboot thing, which was a success. So
yeah.
When you think about it, really, like, it's overcome so many challenges. I mean, you've got the fans of 12, you've got the fans of 11 and 10. And so really, I think you could argue that the last, 3 games, maybe not including the 13 spin-offs, might be the weakest in the whole series. Kind of, if you incorporate people's kind of, opinions on the whole series. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm just a bit worried that, that'd be such a shame if that series goes, because the idea of it is
all
so
great
cool.
empires are doomed to fall.
Right, yeah.
If you see the Final Fantasy as an empire on the video game industry.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, 7 Remake's supposed to be quite good. But yeah, we'll see.
One day we'll play it. We'll play it one day. We'll buy it when we can buy all 3 for like 20 quid.
You read my mind, boy. You read my mind. apparently people are getting to the ending of part 1 and they're going like, "What's going on?" So like, I don't fancy that experience.
No,
So,
no,
yeah.
because I don't know the story of it. I don't want to get to the end and be like, well, now I have to wait 2 years.